If I were a betting person right now, I say Trump is going to run again. I mean, he seems to be setting himself up to do that. And if he's not held accountable, then he gets to do it again. I think that could be the end of our democracy.
Why is it that our enemies, those in America that are possessed by demonic power, why do they have more faith that Donald Trump is returning to the White House than we do? Why is our people so becoming, I hear you, I listen, I get your emails, so discouraged, so disheartened. You know, I don't believe he's going to run again. Then, oh, ye of little faith. The enemies are preparing. They know that the devil knows, Satan knows, all the demons of hell know that he's returning. I promise you, every demon.
If I were a betting person right now, I say Trump is going to run again. I mean, he seems to be setting himself up to do that. And if he's not held accountable, then he gets to do it again. I think that could be the end of our democracy.
You're exactly right, Hillary. He is going to run again. He's going to win again. And that's why you, ma'am, are trying to re-inject yourself back into the political arena, because there's something working in your little head as well. Are you ready to jump back in, ma'am? We believe you are. Professor Toto seems to see something working in the background. Is it time for a rematch, Miss Clinton? Do you really want to end your political career twice? Don't be stupid. He's coming back. And every one of you that are watching me tonight are more discouraged than the enemy is. But let me tell you why they fear his return. Listen to the last line of her statement. Listen closely.
If I were a betting person right now, I say Trump is going to run again. I mean, he seems to be setting himself up to do that. And if he's not held accountable, then he gets to do it again. I think that could be the end of our democracy.
The end of what? Their dream. What do Democrats dream of night and day? They dream of a democracy. They dream of a democracy. Many of you that have watched this class for the last year, I have tried my best to tell you the most important thing you can ever get inside of your head. And it seems so simple. It just seems like words. When I have worked for a solid year to help revive in your mind the word republic. To many people, it's just another word. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is a total different form of government. It is a total different universe than a democracy. Now, if you're watching me for the first time and you're like, what is he talking about? I plead with you to go watch my video on YouTube titled America 101. You must become defenders of the republic and destroyers of the democracy. We are in a battle, not Trump against Clinton. We are in a battle for the republic versus the democracy. That's where we are right now. And I'm going to play you several clips tonight to prove to you exactly what I'm saying. Listen.
The party have convinced a dauntingly large number of Americans that the essential workings of democracy are corrupt, that made-up claims of fraud are true, that only cheating can thwart the victory at their polls, that tyranny has usurped their government, and that violence is a legitimate response. Hyperbolic or fact?
Fact. We've had political violence in America before, lynching, many things over the course of time that African Americans suffered from. But this is 30 million people right now who are ready to take up arms. You put that together with what the president, the former president, I should say, and his allies are doing in the political realm. State houses, state legislatures, and the party apparatus to be able to engineer a situation where they are in a stronger position to pull off a coup in 2024 than they were in 2020. That's not hyperbolic at all. Those are all facts.
If we have people all across the country who are put in the position where they will not confirm or certify an election result, that's the nightmare scenario that I'm worried about.
I point to other violence that's happened before. A civil war happened before. So there is precedent for a lot of this. And that's exactly why people should be so concerned.
Well, you bring up Peter Meyer, Mariana, is a member of Congress. He voted for impeachment. His own sister believes all of Trump's lies.
Going to start pushing leadership to denounce Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of those in that MAGA squad a little bit more. There is frustration boiling.
So until we realize it's the people who believe this stuff, it's not going to change.
Except for the fact that their constituents are driven by the combination of Donald Trump, who still has this massive influence, and the echo chamber of Fox News and Newsmax and OANN that have been broadcasting this propaganda. It's a feedback cycle, right? The constituents are coming up with these ideas on their own. And I'll just say, Chuck, it's like I did an interview with Bannon in October 2020, and he said, there are going to be knife fights in the counting rooms. Knife fights in the counting rooms. All of this is about being able to control those counting rooms and win those knife fights in 2024.
Steve Bannon does not believe in democracy.
No.
That is pretty clear to me.
Did you hear that? Steve Bannon does not believe in democracy. You know what? He sure doesn't. Neither does Professor Toto. Ladies and gentlemen, when you dig to the heart of the matter in America, we are at a point of choosing between a republic and a democracy. The media hates the republic. These people were just talking about a civil war. They were just talking about all of us, and they said, what is the problem? And one man said it best. He said, the people believe that the election was illegitimate. The problem winds up with the people. They want control. They want control from the top to the bottom. They do not want a republic. Why? Because a republic denies them control at the top. A republic keeps control at the bottom. The states are in control. That's why they're losing their mind over Texas and Mississippi right now, because we are operating still as a republic from the bottom up, not the top down. Why do you think they want voting right protection, top control? They don't want the states controlling the elections. Why don't they want the states controlling the election? Because they want a democracy. They want a democracy, and some of us will not give into it. We are a republic, and we must come to battle and understand in our minds what is really happening in America. They are pleading. Did you hear in that clip? They said Steve Bannon does not believe in democracy. Neither does Professor Toto or Toto's Army. And if we're ever going to survive as the land of the free and the home of the brave, we must remain a republic under God. Republic. This is the problem. They know that Trump is coming back. Do you know it? Shame on you if you don't. Don't let the enemy steal your faith. Stand in the gap until Trump stands in the White House. We have a t-shirt here at Toto's Army that says, stand in the gap until Trump stands in the White House. You stand in the gap. Oh, do you think this is about Trump? No, this is about what he represents, and it's the dichotomous opposite of what they believe in. Believe me, it's, They believe they have the answer. And every time they put an answer out there, it proves how stupid they are. They don't have an answer. They are simply shooting dice. I'll prove you. Here's an example of shooting dice. What?
Shut down the virus. I'll shut down the virus, not the economy. I'm going to shut down the virus. I'm going to shut down the virus. I'm going to shut down the virus. I'm not going to shut down the country, but I'm going to shut down the virus.
Cases are rising in nearly half of the country. You can see it on the map. Some hospitals say they're in crisis mode.
It seems as if there's nothing the White House can do to improve their political standing these days. It does feel like every week there's another poll. It's a new bottom. It's a new this.
Murder rates continue to soar nationwide.
You don't need us to tell you what you're seeing already. The new report out tonight showing inflation is now near a 40-year high in this country.
It's a real bump in the road.
Most economists do see these prices as more than a bump in the road. They expect inflation to persist through next spring.
The cost of pretty much everything is surging: food, gas, electricity, housing, cars, and clothes. And those who received raises this year are seeing them wiped out by skyrocketing costs.
A third of the increase in inflation is used automobiles as well, but it also has to do with the fact that not everybody's looking for a used automobile.
Can you get any dumber than this man? Can you get any dumber than this dumb I don't know how you get any dumber. He said the reason we're having inflation is because nobody's wanting used cars. Sir, go down there to these used car lots. I hear from them every day. People are begging for used cars. There are none that are affordable right now. People are pleading for used cars. This dummy said he was going to stop the virus. He was going to shut it down. Not the economy, the virus. Sir, you've done the total opposite. You've shut the country down. That was the difference between you and Trump. Although Trump did not stand against the vaccine, he stood against the mandates. And that, sir, was brilliance. You don't shut a nation down trying to shut down a virus that just keeps getting a new name. Let's talk about that new name, shall we? Well, Omicron is here. Hold on. Omicron has arrived. Ominous, very ominous. Omicron. Omicron. Are you scared yet? Well, don't be. Here's why. They were supposed to name this virus the next letter of the Greek alphabet, which would have been XI, pronounced G. Instead of Omicron, it was supposed to be the G virus. But the problem is, President Xi in China, they didn't like that too much. That's his name, XI. So to please the communists, we couldn't call it the Wuhan virus. We couldn't call it the China virus. We couldn't call it the G virus. We have to call it Omicron. These people think we're idiots. They think we don't see their bull. They think we are idiots. Z. Okay, Teresa, thank you. It's pronounced Z. Z. Z, 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 Z. It's supposed to be the Z virus. But we skip right over Z. We don't want to make Z mad. We don't want to call it a Z virus. It's Omicron. Amirona. Amirona. Ladies and gentlemen, they think we are so dumb. But we're not. And they just don't like the fact that we're not dumb.
Party of convinced
Watch this.
Think but for Jim Comey and the stunt he pulled 10 days before the election, I would have won. I feel terrible about not stopping him and the people around him.
Hold on. Y'all, hold on. I got to check my hearing aid. Because I could have sworn, I know it's my hearing aid messing up. Did I just hear this Jezebel, lesbian spirit, ex-wannabe say that she could have stopped James Comey, the FBI, the legal? Did I hear her say that she should have stopped James Comey? Let's listen again. Surely that's not what I
Think but for Jim Comey and the stunt he pulled 10 days before the election, I would have won. I feel terrible about not stopping him and the people around him.
I feel terrible about not stopping him. I don't understand. I thought they kept saying that they had no power to influence the FBI. I'm going to tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, she said the reason she lost the presidency is because she did not stop James Comey from enforcing the law.
Think but for Jim Comey and the stunt he pulled 10 days before the election, I would have won. I feel terrible about not stopping him and the people around him.
I just want y'all to imagine with me that Donald John Trump had said those words. I mean, really. Imagine if Donald John Trump said, I feel terrible that I didn't stop the FBI from enforcing the law. Wow. Wow. I'm going to tell you what, this story gets more interesting by the day, doesn't it? Oh, it gets even better.
There were people who liked what they saw, despite what I see as the real dangers to our country. They turned out and voted for him. And he's trying to get it set up so that will happen again for him, even if he loses, as he did twice, the popular vote.
Did you hear that? She said she just can't imagine why those people, that means us, showed up and voted for him. And why, she said, it looks like we're getting ready to do it again. Yep. You're right, ma'am. Red Dawn is coming. That's one of my favorite movies ever, by the way, Red Dawn. I don't know if you've ever watched it. It came out in the 70s or the 80s with Patrick Swayze. That was a great movie. As a matter of fact, that's a good movie to watch for the times we're living in right now, when a small minority of people stood up against an invading government. You ought to try to find it if you can. Red Dawn. It's a very good movie. Get the first version. I didn't like the remake of it, but the first one, Red Dawn. I wonder if I'm the only one. Am I the only one that ever watched it? Mark, you saw it. Okay, good. Okay. So she says he lost the popular vote twice. Let me tell you something. That's what they dream of, democracy. Democracy is the popular vote. Why? Because most of the time the popular vote is the dumb vote. Because dumbness runs in the masses. Wolverines, that's exactly right, Crypt Kicker. Dumbness runs in the masses. They dream, they fantasize. They lay in bed at night, at midnight, fantasizing about a democracy. Majority rule. That's their dream. Popular vote. Why? Because all you got to do to win the popular vote is open up the southern border and go to the cemetery and collect names, and you win the popular vote. It's all you got to do. The most brilliant gift that our founders ever gave us was a republic with an electoral college. The most beautiful, beautiful gift they ever gave to us. I'll be right back.
Considered when you spend your money at these mega corporations where it's going? Are you aware that your hard-earned money is being used to support political corruption, which leads to poor federal leadership, hurting our economy, contributing to the overall detriment of our society? This is heavy stuff to think about, I know, but it's time we fought back. Introducing Professor Toto's The Patriots Buying Club. Here, we are a club that gives you the power to invest in companies that uphold patriotic and conservative values your family can respect. Rather than spending your money with these major corporations, we've partnered with a direct consumer company that offers over 400 high-quality, sustainable, and effective products that can be delivered fast directly to your front door. So many patriots across America has joined us in this walk-away movement.
If I were a betting person right now, I'd say Trump is going to run again. I mean,
I believe her. Do you? I'm calling every patriot tonight in Toto's Army, those that are watching live and those that will watch afterwards. Renew your faith. Renew your resolve. Do whatever it takes to fight forward while never forgetting the past and never letting the past go. But fight forward. We look in reverse, but we fight forward. Our president is depending on you and I to believe even what his enemies believe.
if I were a betting person right now, I'd say Trump is going to run again. I mean,
You must get that same confidence tonight. Do not let those naysayers get into your mind. All the enemy needs in your mind is 1 inch of space. You must guard your mind from negativity. God loves America. America is first. America is the modern day tribes of Israel. I know people hate it when I say that, but it's the truth, and I can prove it. I've done it many times at my church. Very soon, I will spend several hours teaching on America in prophecy. We are the end time tribes of Israel, along with our brother Great Britain, as this great book, Britain's Hour of Destiny. I study on these things night and day. You see these books back here? I actually read them. I never stop. As soon as I'm done with these, everything here, I'll swap them out and reload that shelf, because truth is an anchor you can hold on to. When you know the truth, you will be hated by men. And I'm encouraging everyone tonight to know the truth that Donald Trump was raised by God. Listen to me. Forget the conspiracies. Just believe the truth. If you're not careful, conspiracy theories become the enemy of faith as much as doubt does. Why is that? Faith says, I don't know how, I don't know when, I just know my God. That's faith. Faith says that God is going to work it out for what is best for everyone involved, not just me. Now, you have the doubters that say, I don't believe that. But then you have a group of people in the middle that's looking on every channel to try to find out who knows how God is going to do it. Because the truth is, they don't really have faith. They need a nightly fix of how. When you get faith, you don't care about the how. You just care about the who. Amen. When you have real faith, You don't care about the latest intel because you're still standing on that old rock of truth. You never sway. You never swerve. I've never been shaken one day since January the 6th. Not one day. I'm just waiting and watching. I don't have to chase around this one. You know, people tell me all the time, you know, if somebody told me that going to be a Christmas surprise. Well, how many remembers last year was supposed to be a Christmas? Listen, folks, have faith in God. Not on every YouTuber that has another date, that has another plan, that has another general that they got a secret message from. I just know that God is in control. And when you know that God is in control, you don't need to know if JFK Jr. is going to do it or not, or Dale Earnhardt. And I love every one of you, and I love all of my fellow YouTubers, and I just love everybody. I really do. I love those people that talk about me like I'm a dog, and I know who you are. I love people that mock me. I love Right Wing Watch so much that I look every day to see if they've given me the honor of putting me back on their website. I love everybody. And when I say the things I say, it's not to put down. It's to keep you from jumping in those rabbit holes, only to come up disappointed. But if you will turn your eyes to heaven, and if you will just trust that God raised Donald Trump, and God's not through with Donald Trump, just trust that. Believe that. And then just plan to celebrate when God's will is done. And until then, if your faith gets a little weak, and you say, well, I don't know if he's going to run or not, then use the devil to remind you.
If I were a betting person right now, I say Trump is going to run again.
When your faith gets a little weak, use that old lying devil to build your faith.
If I were a betting person right now, I say Trump is going to run again. I mean, he seems to be setting himself up to do that. And if he's not held accountable, then he gets to do it again. I think that could be the end of our democracy.
It will be the end of our democracy and the beginning of our great republic. May God's will be done. We love every one of you tonight. I don't have a voice to sing, or I would sing you a song. Keep me in prayer. This weekend at our church in Waveland, Mississippi is what we call Super Sabbath weekend. Means we have church all weekend long. You ought to come and get you a room and join in with us Friday night, Saturday morning. Then we'll have food, and then Saturday afternoon classes, and then Sunday night church. We love our Super Sabbath weekends, the third weekend of every month. So why don't you come and be with us? We will be live streaming this Saturday morning on our Zoom Bible study. So all of you that join us on Saturday mornings for Zoom, you will be part of that morning Bible study at our church. Well, God bless you, everybody. We love you. May God bless you, and may God always bless the United States of America.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
'cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
From Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA,
where there's pride in their